Encounter is brought to you by the Broome County Council of Churches, where we connect compassion with needs as we inspire growth with dignity. You'll find us in special places throughout the community. For those who remain hungry, we provide meals. For those who are challenged, we build wheelchair ramps. We comfort those who are ill, minister to those who are confined, and we remain an advocate for change and understanding on behalf of every element of our community. Connect and inspire. Encounter the Broome County Council of Churches.
Good morning and welcome to Encounter. I'm your host today, Joe Sellepack. I think it was at the beginning of COVID, the first episode that we did remotely from the stadium, from the studio was with Jack Seman, as we were sitting inside of I was in one room and he was in another at the Council of Churches. We're doing the same thing today. It's nice to have you on today, Jack. And at that time, we were talking a little bit about the grocery store that we're opening. And this grocery store has been a labor of love for the council. It's been going on for about 3 years. We've been talking about opening a grocery store on the north side of Binghamton. And I think we're very, very close. So you want to update people on where we're at in this process, Jack?
Yeah, sure. Well, it's great to be back on, even remotely. So yeah, and I can't believe it's been 3 years now. It's so insane to think back and to that initial meeting, and now we're at where we're at now. So we've officially moved into a beautiful space on the north side of Binghamton at 435 State Street. The area, the room that we've been given by the developers is absolutely beautiful. We're really grateful to have that. And at this point, what we're doing is just setting up equipment. We're putting coolers and freezers in, setting up shelving, building desks for the offices, shelving for the coolers and freezers. So right now we're kind of just in the installation phase of things. And unfortunately, some things have been delayed, but I think we're moving forward as best we can, and really, really looking forward to that ribbon cutting.
Yeah, because back when we started talking, even in I think it was when we came on in March or April. At that point, we were talking about opening over the summer, and so COVID has had a big impact on our ability to open and the ability for the Canal Plaza to the contractors that are working on Canal Plaza to actually get their work done. So you want to talk a little bit about that too, like how has COVID impacted our ability to open the store?
Well, it's impacted us in a few different ways. So one of the issues we had was actually in the building phase of things. The state of New York really shut everything down for the most part. Fortunately, because there was affordable housing attached to this project, they were able to continue with some of the work. But then another issue the developers ran into was actually getting materials to the site. So just because they were up and running, there were a lot of manufacturing and shipping issues that ensued due to COVID, just getting materials on the build site. And then once that was finished, obviously that delayed things quite a bit. We actually had equipment that we were all set to order, equipment that was already ordered, that went from about a 3-week lead time to like 9 to 12 weeks. So a lot of it has just been shipping, manufacturing delays. So that's been really challenging. Fortunately, I think all the equipment that we're going to need for an opening has been ordered, so we at least know when it's going to get here. Then after the installation process, we can really start to move forward and get this thing open.
So currently we're thinking mid-December-ish. Is that about what you're still thinking?
That's what we're looking at. Yeah, mid-December. That'll give us time for the remaining equipment to get here, to get it installed, conduct any necessary training that's going to be involved with some of the software and processes that we'll be using for the store itself. So I'm pretty confident that mid-December we'll be able to open those doors. And
we hinted at back when we on our first episode on the grocery store that we had a name that was under wraps, but there's a big sign out in front of the store now, so we might as well go ahead and tell our viewers and listeners what the name of that store is going to be. So why don't you let everybody know about that?
Yeah, so the store will be called the Greater Good Grocery, and I think that is so fitting. I love the name. I love how it rolls off the tongue, and yeah, one of the other things that didn't quite go as planned, but I think it's fine. I think it looks great. The sign. So there was some delaying with the putting up of the sign, and then all of a sudden it was up. So so that was interesting, but no, I think it looks great. I love the logo. I think it's just perfect. So that will be the name, the Greater Good Grocery, and I think it really carries what the mission of the grocery store will be.
And when you look at the sign, you can really see too the relationship between the sign and the Council of Churches logo too. The colors, the lettering, a lot of the things that are involved in the sign itself really are things that were part of the logo for the council too.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So if you actually look at the council's logo, there's the hands, and it's almost as if they've morphed into groceries for this logo, and I think it looks so. I can't say enough about it. I really love the look of the logo and the name, and that really came together quite nicely.
Yeah, and as you were saying, the space itself is just going to be absolutely gorgeous. It's a beautiful space, big windows, lots of light.
Mm-hmm.
It's not going to be like a dingy little corner. It's going to be a very, very attractive and a very attractive space.
Yeah, I don't know about you, but I know 3 years ago, when talking about the possibility of opening a store, never in a million years did I think we would be moving into a space like this. I mean, it's brand new, and it's just gorgeous.
Yeah, when we were looking at places, we were talking about redeveloping something or doing all kinds of expensive renovations to things and all that kind of thing. But this is along with all of the other partners that are going to be involved in the building itself. When you start looking at, that Binghamton Housing Authority has offices there, Catholic Charities has offices there. Some of the people that we work with on a normal basis through CHOW and through the Council of Churches, they're all going to be in that building too. So it kind of lends itself to being a community center of sorts for the people that live there.
Yeah.
Wraparound services even. So
exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, so our neighbors are going to be, as you mentioned, Binghamton Housing Authority and Catholic Charities, and as you mentioned as well, CHOW and the Council of Churches has a great relationship with Catholic Charities, whether it's through the Broome County program or the Broome County Food Council. So we're really glad to have them as neighbors. Binghamton Housing Authority obviously is a great partner, and I think another real strength of the location is the fact that not only is it centrally located in the north side of Binghamton, but also there's housing on top as well. So those individuals will be able to take part in the grocery store really conveniently. And I've been thinking of some cool things that we can do, whether it's like resident hours or people can come in and shop at night or something like that. There's a lot of possibilities and really neat stuff that we're able to do with having our neighbors kind of surround us.
And I know that when I did a presentation at Mothers and Babies Perinatal Network, I think it's probably a year and a half ago now, which is kind of interesting, thinking about all these things before we had a name, before we had a space even, they knew construction was happening, but they didn't, there was just so many questions. But they're excited about it, and there's a lot of other organizations like the YWCA was very interested in the project too. Salvation Army has been very interested. So, and we know that the Lee Barta Center has been very active, and United Way has been very active in supporting the initiative as well. So it's a well-rounded and well liked project that is going to have a huge impact on that area. You want to talk a little bit about the impact?
Yeah. So Obviously, the Council of Churches has many programs that do many different things throughout Broome County, whether it's providing access to food for those that are food insecure, maintaining the independence of older individuals, ministering to the incarcerated, those in hospitals. This grocery store is going to do is not only is it going to, um, you know, answer the question on the north side of, when is there going to be a grocery store there? And it's been over 20 years since there's been one. So not only is it going to serve the residents of the north side, but it's also going to support the Council of Churches and all of the other programs that they do and all the work they do throughout Broome County. So I think this is going to have an incredible ripple effect, and it's going to start on the north side of Binghamton, and it's going to ripple out and throughout all of Broome County. So anybody, and that's another thing I want to stress, is that anybody can shop there. That was one of the questions I would always get when it came to the Chow bus is, can I shop there? Can anyone shop there? And it's like, of course you can. Every single customer, every person that utilizes this grocery store, not only are they getting cheap, healthy, fresh food for them and their families, but they're also providing wheelchair ramps through Faith in Action's Ramp It Up program. They're providing meals for those that utilize Chow. They're ministering to the incarcerated and working on reentry programs through jail ministry, and they're helping those that not only are in hospitals but also those that work there. So I can't stress that enough, that the effect this is going to have on not just the north side but also our entire community is just going to be profound. And I'm so excited for that. And I really think that this is going to be incredible. I'm so excited to see the results of this.
Now, one of the questions that is arising a lot here recently has to do with the effects of COVID on grocery stores. Do you want to speak a little bit about how it's going to how COVID is going to impact our ability to do the to sell groceries, and how will people need PPE? All those kinds of questions are part of it.
Yeah. So, according to the CDC and just best practices, what do we do in a COVID world? Well, we wear masks, we social distance. So for the grocery store, obviously any customers would be asked to wear a mask. The employees would have masks on. We'd be maintaining social distance, and at the checkouts, we would have plexiglass, and we would just really do our part to make sure that we're able to stay distant, stay safe, hand sanitizer, frequently washing our hands, just following all of those guidelines. Not only the actual shopping experience has been affected by COVID, but also the supply chain with food as well has been affected quite a bit. So it's another thing that we're going to have to work on. But I think through our unique model of stocking the store, I think some of that might be mitigated just a little bit. But we're looking into a lot of different options.
Now, when a person comes to the grocery store, what's there for them? Like do we have shopping carts? What can a person expect to have when they get to the grocery store?
Yeah. So you're going to walk in through the entrance, and there are shopping carts as well as baskets right there. And then perimetered around the edge of the store are coolers and freezers, merchandiser coolers and freezers. So glass doored. So you can just open them up just like you would at a normal grocery store, pick your products out, fill your cart or your basket. Then there's going to be racking for non-perishable items, and then produce stands. So it's really going to be very similar to just a normal grocery store. And we're going to be focusing on fresh and healthy food. So we really want to make sure that we're able to provide produce, meats, fresh things like that folks maybe can't get in the neighborhood right now at a good price.
Now, one of the things that they won't be able to find at the grocery store are like cigarettes, beer, soda, some of the things that they may that they may be able to find at other grocery stores. Can you speak as to why that would be the case?
Yeah, so, obviously, in the light of wanting to focus on fresh and healthy things, we won't be offering alcohol or tobacco, or not going to be a strong emphasis on providing things like candy or soda. And not only is that to offer healthy things, but also, with the selling of those things comes a lot of extra steps that need to be taken. So, we really just want to make sure that this is a really positive environment, that we're offering the healthiest inventory we possibly can. So that's what we'll be focusing on. And anything that will be lacking is certainly has a presence elsewhere on the north side.
Yeah, that's true. Now, as far as like the holdups and the reasons that we're waiting until December 15th to be able to open the store, it has to do with the checkouts and the point of sale system. So you want to like we will have a an actual checkout. It'll be very similar to what you have in any grocery store. Correct?
Correct. Yeah. So, before any of this, let me just say I have a newfound respect when I go to a grocery store and I see those conveyor belts with the scanners on them. The amount of the process it is to get one of those designed, built, manufactured, and shipped is just more than I could have. So that has been the main holdup. So obviously, we're partnering with STCR for our point of sale system, like the actual software, but we need a checkout stand. And so we had to go elsewhere for that. And that went from having a 3-week lead time to having like a 9-week lead time. So it really pushed things back. So, we couldn't open the store without that. So so that's kind of the main holdup. But when it does get here and it's installed, it will be, like you said, very similar to any grocery store that anyone's been to.
So one of the questions that a lot of people ask is, why has to do with, they think that somehow because we're in the north side that they're going to get an inferior product from, as far as the grocery store itself and the feel of the grocery store and the rest of it, that it's all going to be very cheap and not very attractive. So how do you respond to people who say things like that?
Well, first of all, I can understand why someone might say that, but I can tell you this. Personally, I live on the north side of Binghamton. I have a family. I can tell you that my family will be shopping at this grocery store, and I wouldn't want anything stocked in that grocery store that I wouldn't feed to my family. Also, I think the north side deserves the best. I think they've been without for quite some time now, and so I think it would be a disservice to them to offer that type of product. Not to mention, it's just not a good business plan. So I can say that I understand those fears, and folks will just have to see that that's not going to be the case.
They'll have to come out and see, because one of the things that I thought was kind of funny is that Les Aylesworth was having he's our new chow director. He was having a conversation with somebody who was saying, well, they don't think that it'll ever get there, that it'll ever open. And so they were just basically dissing the entire experience, by saying this is another promise that will be made but not kept. And Les at that point went back and found one of our grocery carts they were being stored in the warehouse, and he wheeled it out, and on the grocery cart it has Greater Good Grocery written right there on the handle of the grocery cart. He said, then we're going to have a lot of these laying around. and the person goes, what? And we go, yeah, it's really opening. We really have grocery carts. We really have a space. There's a sign that's gone up. There's a lot of excitement in the, just seeing the changes to Canal Plaza that building itself is bringing. it was just a very interesting conversation, and to see that there was something actually there with the name of the grocery store on it, and we're just waiting to open. It was kind of interesting for him.
Yeah, that's funny. You know, when I've heard the same thing said, you know, here and there, and I say to them like, well, I really hope that's not the case. Like, otherwise, I've been doing a whole lot of work for nothing.
Yeah,
So
I know. It's
yeah,
like,
no, I can tell you, folks have come by to look through the windows. I feel like whenever I'm there during the day, I was saying to a friend, I feel like a fish in an aquarium because I'll be like putting shelves together or doing something in the store, and people put their face on the glass all day long, and I've gotten to the point where I kind of just ignore it. But yeah, no, people can come out and see and look, and if they knock on the door, I'd be more than happy to, you know, walk them through if I'm there. And yeah, no, it's very real. It's very, very real.
now, one of the things that we're trying to develop for the grocery store is a community advisory committee. Can you talk about how important that is?
So I think that is incredibly important. I think it's really important for the folks on the north side to see the kind of products in the grocery store that they'd like to see, for many different reasons. Cultural, you know, it's what they ate growing up. It's what they want to see. And I think the way to do that is to develop an advisory committee. So obviously, it's not going to be possible for everyone on the north side to work at this grocery store, but I think it's going to be possible for as many that would like to have a voice, to have a voice. So I really think it's important that our inventory reflects, you know, what that community wants to see in there. And so this will be an advisory committee made up of Northside members, Northside residents, to just voice their opinion on, you know, how things are going, what they'd like to see, brainstorming how we could possibly get there. You know, there's so many things that, you know, just talking to Northside residents that, you know, I just didn't even think about. You know, whether it's because, you know, that's not my history, that's not my background. I think getting a group of people together who are all of many different backgrounds and many different experiences, I think the value of that is incredible.
Now, if a person wants to be on the advisory committee, how can they do that?
So the next step that we're going to be doing pretty soon is rolling out social media for the grocery store. And on that social media will be all of my contact information, as well as, you know, just the direct messaging services there. And so I think maybe putting something out on that would be the best way to go about that.
All right, and then as far as like even if a person was interested on serving on the board of directors or any of those kinds of things, they could contact either you or they could contact me, and we could interview them and let them know what we're looking for as far as board members are concerned. We really are looking for people from the north side of Binghamton to serve in those positions because we really want to be connected to the north side and to the folks that live there. So right now we're actually starting to we're thinking about advertising for positions. Now, you want to talk about how many positions that we'll have and what kind of skills we're looking for from people?
Yeah, definitely. So looking right now at kind of a staffing structure of having 8 store associates. So they'll be responsible for, you know, to be a cashier, receiving product through the receiving area, stocking shelves, cleaning tasks, customer service, pretty much anything that you could imagine needs to be done at a grocery store. There will also be 2 managers that will oversee the closing and opening of the store, as well as, you know, some inventory, product management, logistics, just everything else that pretty much comes with a store. We're also going to have a driver, so that driver's responsibility will actually be going from Binghamton to other locations to pick up inventory for the store itself. And then also later on down the road, once the actual brick and mortar store is up and running and we're confident in all the processes that we need to go through, we'll be looking into a full-time mobile grocery store driver as well. And that has always been a difficult position to hire for, because not only are you looking for someone with customer service skills, that can talk to the community and conduct a market, but also somebody who can drive a bus. So the people that are in that position are always have some of the most interesting stories because their expertise are so wide. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to getting that on the road and getting that up and running. I think that's really I think it's gonna further that ripple effect. So not only is this grocery store gonna provide groceries on the north side, but after a while, it's actually going to be able to move into other areas in Broome County and do the same thing there as well. So yeah, it's that's kind of going to be what our staffing structure is, and I think we'll have plenty of room to pivot if we need to, but I think we're going to be just fine with that.
Now, some of the one of the positions we just currently started advertising for was for the driver. That will be something that they can contact the Council of Churches directly if they would like to apply for that position. So we are looking for people from the north side to that would need to find some work that way. So we need to let people know about that.
Yeah.
So in the last minute, is there anything that you would like to highlight as far as like a summary of what the Greater Good Grocery?
Well, I think the Greater Good Grocery has been truly the definition of a labor of love. I'm so excited to see the impact that it has on our entire community, the Council of Churches, those we serve. And I am just so excited to get this thing open.
Well, my guest today has been Jack Seman. We've been talking about the Greater Good Grocery, the Northside Market. That is a project of the Council of Churches. We hope that you have a great day today.